So if you need to make an extra 2K in the next 14 days, here's exactly what I would recommend you do. And it's exactly what my client, Megan, did to close 33 new sales in her business, which was £3,300 in just 14 days. It's exactly what my client Autul did to close 43 sales in less than 2 weeks. It's what my client did to close 142 sales in just 2 weeks. And it's also what I've done 3 times in the last 5 years to kick off, promote, build and start and grow 3 businesses from 0 to 6 figures in just inside of 6 months. So back in 2019, I launched my first ever online program. And my background was fitness, and it doesn't matter what your expertise is. It doesn't matter if you're a dog coach, a puppy trainer, doesn't matter if you're a mathematician, doesn't matter if you're a teacher, if you're a mindset coach, whatever it is. If you have a skill, if you have a passion, if you've solved multiple problems or one problem for yourself and others, you can get paid handsomely for it by creating something I call a core offer, and in particular, a Godfather core offer. So back in 2019, I kicked off my first ever program. So I was working on the gym floor, I was a personal trainer, and I knew that I wanted to help more people. So I created a core offer. What a core offer is a 4 to 6 week program, a 4 to 6 week solution. This can be one-to-one, this can be group, whatever you want it to be. And then you need to then hit up your network, okay? So you don't need to start promoting, you don't need to start learning about ads, you don't need to start learning about content. The majority of people that I know at least 100 people in their network that need help. They need help with their mindset, they need help with their wealth, they need help with their health, they need help with their relationships. They have problems that need to be solved. And this is how the entire economy works, is that people have pains, and those pains come from being problems, and because they can't see how to get out of that painful problem and actually solve it and get the outcome that they desire and the outcome that they want, then they are going to pay someone to help them solve that, okay? Sorry, I'm just laughing, my wife. Having road rage without even being on the road with a driver coming down. Okay, cool. So people have pains. These pains create problems. These problems make them think that they can't get the outcomes, and the outcomes that they want are their goals, their dreams, their desires. And if you have a product, if you have a solution to that problem, people will pay you for it. It's like I'm on this walk right now, and if I'm thirsty and there's nowhere around that serves water, there's nowhere open, and a random guy comes past and said, I'll sell you this bottle of water, but it's going to cost you €5, when a bottle of water here in Crete costs about 60 cents, I'm going to pay him for it. The same way when I was in Spain many years ago and I got my tooth infected and I woke up from a nap sunbathing and my face looked like Hitch, like blown up like the Elephant Man, I said I will sell anything or put any amount of money on a credit card to reduce this pain. And the bigger the painful problem, the bigger money that you can charge for your services, right? So going back to my story, 2019. So I created something called a core offer. And I created a program called the Alpha Mojo 28. And the Alpha Mojo 28 was a 28-day program for £99. And what I promised these men with this program was that I will help them drop, their first £10 in 4 weeks. I'll help them ditch a bad habit like smoking, drinking or complaining. And I'll help them get their mojo back for life, right? Their energy levels. And if they didn't drop that £10 in the next 4 weeks, I would give them a full refund plus £99 on top to say sorry. So worst case scenario, they get a great experience, and if they don't get the result, they net profit. So they get their money back plus some. And that's what you call a Godfather offer, right? It has an outcome, a desire, it shows you how you're going to get there, and there's a guarantee, which is a safety net, which helps with buyer's confidence. And yes, there were conditions there for them to get the refund, right? People couldn't just sign up and not do the work, right? There were conditions, but those conditions were not there to trip anyone up. Those conditions were there to facilitate the outcome, all right? Facilitate, well, morning. Look, getting at it, guys, look at that, love that. Was to facilitate the outcome. So if they do the steps, step by step, they get the outcome. So it's win-win for both people, right? So I would get yourself a pen and paper, and I would write down what problems you can solve for your market, what problems you can solve for people. And if you already have a product and it's maybe high ticket and it's not selling very well, take a piece of that product that you have right now and take a small portion of it, and the portion of it that you should take out should solve what I call a pebble problem for your audience, right? For your market. Because we have pebble problems, we have rock problems, we have boulder problems. Pebble problems are the closest problems to them right now that you can solve. So a pebble problem for weight loss is dropping your first 10 pounds. A pebble problem for mindset is to end self-sabotage. A pebble problem for business would be to make your first 1 to 2K, or how to create a Godfather offer, or how to position an offer, how to get more attention online, how to close more people in the DMs. They're pebble problems. And that's something that your market wants right now. So once you've wrote that down, you're then going to create the program from the offer. So the offer creates the program. The offer creates the program. So if your offer is, like what I said, I'm just using fitness as an example because that was the first thing that I got into, that was the first thing that I sold, is that I'm going to help you drop 10 pounds in 4 weeks. I'm going to help you ditch a bad habit and get your energy back. So that offer creates the product. So there's 3 steps. Well, there's going to be 4 steps, there's 4 weeks. First week, how I create that is actually going to be about orientation, programming, overview, and getting people started with a good habit. Second week is helping them be aligned with their nutrition, their exercise, so that they can lose the weight. Third week is teaching them how to reframe a bad habit, for example. So how to reframe it, how to change their perspective, how to shift their values, whatever it is that you would do, and then keeping that momentum. So once you've got that offer, once you've got that product, once you've now started creating it, and you only need to create week 1, guys, because you can build as you go, you're now going to get yourself a warm list. And a warm list is where you go in your phone contacts, your social media contacts. So Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Threads, your phone contacts in WhatsApp, whatever it may be. And you're going to look through all of these contacts and you're going to write down the names or screenshot the names, or you do it as you go, of every single person in there that could do with your help. Every single person that could do with your products. Every single person that needs that painful problem solved for them. And then you're going to send them a message. And what you're going to do with this message is you're going to send a message and frame it as a case study, a beta test, or a founding members program. And you're going to use something called a sideways sales pitch. So I did this just over 3 years ago when I started the Leadership Lab. So the Leadership Lab is a program I built 3 years ago, off of the back, just sorting the baby out the other way around now, off of the back of me getting 2 fitness coaching programs, so 6 figures inside of 6 months. People started asking me how I did it, right? And it all started with sales with me, right? Learning how to be a good salesperson. So I did this same thing just over 3 years ago. I created an offer, I created the product for it, and well, the idea for the product, and I got my phone out. And on my Facebook contacts, there was about 300 coaches on there that had a high ticket offer. So I voice noted every single one of them. And I said, hey, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Hope business is treating you good. I've got something I want to share with you that I'm extremely excited about. It may benefit you or benefit someone else. This is the sideways sales pitch, so we're not directly selling. So I've been beta testing this product. And by the way, guys, I didn't have that product beta tested yet, but I wanted to create that perceived hype and that kind of need and want for it, right? So I've been testing this product. I've been beta testing it recently, and it's teaching people just like yourselves with a high ticket offer on how to get more people to turn up to sales calls, how to frame and control the call, how to close more people with confidence, and how to handle objections like an absolute Jedi. And because it's quite new, we're looking for more founding members as case studies, and in exchange for you being a case study, we're giving a radical discount off the product. Would you like to see the details or know somebody that would? Same thing with fitness. I voice noted, I messaged every contact I had, which was about 400 people in my network. And it was just like, hey brother, how's it going? Hope you're doing well, hope family's good. I've got something I want to share with you I'm extremely excited about. I've been beta testing recently a new product called the Alpha Mojo 28, where we're promising that you're going to ditch your first 10 pounds in 4 weeks. You're going to ditch a bad habit like smoking, drinking or complaining, and you're going to level up your confidence and energy so you get that Alpha Mojo back. And because we're in the testing phase at the moment, we're looking for a few more founding members as case studies in exchange for a huge discount off the product. So would you like to see the details and know somebody that would? And after doing that with 400 people over 2 weeks and messaging people I go into the next steps, I sold about 45 of those products to people for £99. So creating 4.5 grand in 2 weeks. When I did this 3 years ago, and I don't say this to impress you, just to press upon you what you have in your already network, if you want to make an extra 2-3 grand in the next 2 weeks, is I had 300 coaches, about 80 people got back to me, and out of that, we signed up 23 people for 500 quid. And that's how we started this business called the Leadership Lab. So out of thin air, in 2 weeks, from an idea to a voice note, from an offer, from a conversation, we created just over 11 grand's worth of income. And that started this new business that we've been now delivering on for the last 3 years. Absolutely crazy, right? And you can do exactly the same. So I hope you're making notes. So once that person replies back and says, yes, I'd love to see the details, you're then going to ask them a series of questions to get to know them more, right? And with those series of questions, I like to use a framework called PUNTQ, P-U-N-T-Q, where you figure out their pains or their problems, you figure out some urgency around it, you find out their needs, you build some trust, and you get some quantifiable information. And from that, you can then send them a proposal. Because you don't need to jump on a sales call with someone to sell them a £99 or a $99 program, right? And when you create a proposal, it's just going to talk through with good copy on their problems, the pitfalls of those problems, how you're going to help them solve them problems, the price of the product and why it's such a low investment at the moment as a case study, what it will be in the future, so you create that urgency to buy now, and then a bit of an outline and skeleton of what they're going to get with the delivery. And then you're going to ask them at the end of the proposal, which you can record just on a Google Doc using Loom, would they like to ask any more questions, or are they in? And if so, you send them a link. And you send them a link through Stripe and they sign up, okay? And it's the same process I said before that created over 140 sales for one of our clients in 2 weeks, over 40 sales for one of our clients in 2 weeks, over 30 sales in just 2 weeks for one of our clients. Banking them 2, 3, 4, up to 8K, some people. And you can do exactly the same. So all you need to do is either use something from your existing product or create a brand new product. Doesn't matter if you're a dog trainer, if you're a business coach, a mindset coach, or a fitness coach. If you do not have a core offer in your business right now, you do not have a low ticket for people to ascend into the higher, you're missing out on sales. And right now, if you need to earn an extra 2 to 3K, then go and create that offer, position it to your warm list, and once people say yes and they're raising their hands and they're buying, you can then start shouting about it and screaming from the rooftops on social media and start promoting it that way. That's where you can start promoting the case study, talking about the problems you're going to solve for people, talking about the pains, getting into the perspective of others, and start selling and promoting online. And I guarantee that within your network right now, you can make at least 10 to 20 sales. So I hope that's been valuable, guys. Any questions on this, or whatever your key takeaways were, just hit with a comment below. And if you'd like to see this in more depth, if you'd like to see what this looks like on like a board, or with what more diagrams, or how it all links together, then type more info and I'll create that in the next video.